today with a lecture of supplier management, and we will see today an application of what we saw yesterday. Okay, so we are going to implement the economic order quantity models in Python, which will give you a sense of how this information can be performed in such a system. So in order to do that, we need to first understand how we create functions in Python. So a function is a code block that allows us shall be run only when called. Okay, you will see that it's quite easy. Functions in Python are called with the word def. Okay, so we defined the function with the word def. In order to call a function, we call the function name and followed by round parentheses. So just an example, we write def my function, some name, okay, and then we put parentheses. In this parenthesis we will get later on some parameters or arguments, double point, and then we tell the function what to do. For instance, hello from my function. Okay, then if I call the function my function and I press shift enter, then I get shift plus enter, then I get the function is called and it's implemented calling hello from my function. Okay, so information can be brought to the function within the parentheses, and this information is called arguments or parameters. Okay, we can define many arguments that should be separated with commas. So we say definition my function, first name, last name, and double point. Don't forget the double point. If we don't put a double point, then we have a mistake. First name and last name are the arguments of this function. And we say print first name plus one space plus last name. And then I say I apply the function, my function, to Anna, comma, coach. I get a mistake because I define my function with an underscore, and here I forgot the underscore, so I need to put an underscore. And yeah, I need to get the information in, because he's asking for a string. I need to put some comma. Okay. Anna is being understood as the first name. Then it inserts a space, and then it inserts the second argument, last name Kruch. Is it understood? In order to get a value from a function, we use the order return. So let's say definition, my function of x return 5 times x. Okay, and I say print my function of 3, and what I get if I press shift enter is 15. Okay, it's returning 5 times the value of the argument, 15. Does it make sense? I can use many arguments in the function. For instance, I can say definition, my function of x, y, okay, and then return x square plus y square. Okay, the double star means x square. Okay, so if I say print my function of 2.3, 2,3, sorry, then I get 13, because it's doing 2 to the 2 square plus 3 square, 13, 4 plus 9. Okay. Example for the exam. Something like this could be asked in the exam. Please write a function that delivers the absolute value of a number given in the argument. Okay? How do you want to do it with me? Step by step. So Anna, do you want to get online and do it? We go. Yeah, we can do it together. But if I talk to you, then it's easier. I have better feeling that you understand it. Let's do it together. Okay. So please get your microphone on. Because we want a function, we write what first? Def. Okay? This is the first step always, that we want to define a function. Then we get Anna absolute value. This is the name of our function. Okay? and then we put round parentheses, and we have one argument, x. Okay? Because this is the number that we are going to give to the function to get the absolute value. Double point, because otherwise we get a mistake. And then if x is bigger than 0, double point, then return x, okay? Because this is the meaning of the absolute value, right? If the number is bigger than 0, just give me the number. Else, return minus x, right? Because if I give you minus 3 and I ask you to give me the absolute value, you need to give me minus 3, so plus 3, right? Make sense? Let's say if it works, absolute value of minus 3. It works. Okay, let's do it again. Absolute value of 3, it returns 3. Absolute value of 14 returns 14. Absolute value of minus 14 returns also 14. Okay. Do you understand the concept? Good, thank you. Any questions so far? Good. Then 1 second. So let's do more examples of how to get some functions performed. Let's say another example for the exam. Please write a function that greets a person in the morning. Okay, so somebody want to do it with me? Okay, so we can def greet, then the value, the argument, the name. Okay, and then we say print hello, comma, plus, what do I need to write now? If I want to write hello, Paul, good morning. I need to write the name, plus, good morning, right? So when I write now greet, I say, let's say Anna or Christian, then it writes hello Christian, good morning. Okay? Make sense? Make sense? Examples or questions, sorry. We can also say we can use a parameterized function. Okay? A function can have an unknown number of arguments. By putting a star before the parameter, if you don't know the number of parameters, the user can pass the arguments. Let's look at an example. Def, greet, and then I say, okay, I don't know how many names I want to greet. Good, so then I say star names, print hello, comma, then I say comma, names 0, space, names 1, space, and names 2. So we have 3 arguments. Okay, and then I say greet Anna, Christian, and Yannick. Hello, Anna, Christian, and Yannick. I put here and, comma, space, then, or if I put here the comma so that it's correct, hello, comma, Anna, comma, Christian, and Yannick. Okay. One thing I can do is give you this sentence, okay, in the exam, give you this sentence and ask you to write the function that writes that sentence. Okay? Questions, please? So, as we have seen before, we can return the value. Of a function with return. Let's see more examples. Definition of a sum of A and B. Return A plus B. Okay, and I say sum of 3 and 5, and it just returns the sum. Okay? Questions? Okay, then let's get into the EOQ model. Now we will write a function that delivers the values of the EOQ model 1. In order to do that, we need to import NumPy as NP. Okay. We defined the function EOQ1. In order to do that, we are going to define AOQ1. Okay, so we use def, the name, AOQ1, and then the parameters. What parameters do we have yesterday? A, setup cost, the demand, and H, holding cost. So, we use 3 arguments for the function. Okay, A is the setup cost, the cost to prepare the machine. D is the yearly demand. H is the inventory holding cost. The function delivers following. Q, we use Q star, but here we cannot use star because star is understood as something else. Q is the economic order quantity. Y is the optimal cost at Q. Okay. D divided by Q is the optimal number of production runs. Or supplier runs. Okay, depending, in this case it's the same. 12 divided by the number of production runs is the time between runs, because we have one year and the runs are monthly, so that's the reason. And then we find AOC, which is the annual ordering cost. AHC, which is the annual inventory holding cost. And ATC, annual total cost, which is ATC is in this model AOC plus AHC. So how do we define the function? First step, what do we do? Validate that all the data are positive. How do we do that? We did this before here in this example with ANA absolute value. Here is the same. If round parenthesis A is bigger than 0 and D is bigger than 0 and H is bigger than 0, then double point, always after if, we do the second step, which is to calculate the AOQ model 1. How do we do it? Well, we saw yesterday the formulas. Q equals NP from NumPy, point, SQRT, meaning square root Okay. Here we saw yesterday that Q equals the square root of 2 times A times D divided by H. So this is the square root of 2 times A times D divided by H. Okay? And Y equals the square root of 2 times A plus times D times H. Okay? We can also say the number of orders is the demand divided by the quantity, or the time between cycles equals 12 divided by the number of orders. Or we can get the annual ordering cost, how? Multiplying D divided by Q, which is the number of orders, times the setup cost. Okay, this is D divided by Q. D divided by Q, which is the number of orders, times A, which is the cost of an order. And then we get AHC, annual holding cost, which is Q divided by 2, which is the average inventory, times the inventory cost per unit. So Q divided by 2 in average inventory times the H, which is the cost of inventory. Okay, and we can get also ATC, which is the sum plus AHC. Okay, so the the next step the third step is to let him give me what I want. Return a list with the values. Okay, so here I tell him return. How do I get a list with squared parentheses? And then I say, okay, give me Q, give me Y, give me the number of orders, give me the time between orders, between cycles, give me AOC, give me AHC, and give me ATC. Okay? And the fourth step is to give me an error in case any parameter is not positive. How do we do it? Just as we done before here in the example an absolute value with else. Okay? Else, double point, print error, all parameter must be positive. Okay. Questions to this function and how we have defined it. I have tried to go as slow as possible. Questions, please. So AOQ1, I just call the function, just one example, 10, 240, 0.3. I press Shift Enter, and it delivers me the values. Okay. I don't know. I can change the values as I wish. Okay, and 400 is delivered in the sequence that I wanted. 400 is Q. 120 is Y, is the cost. The number of orders is 6. The time between cycles is 2 months. AOC, the total setup cost is 60. AHC, the total inventory cost is 60, and ATC, the total cost is 120, which is the sum of 60 plus 60. Okay, so what happens now if I say AOQ1 of minus 10 to 1,400 and 0.3? Well, now I would be saying that the setup cost A is minus 10, so they pay me for keeping inventory, and this is no, they pay me for setting up the machine, and this just doesn't make sense. Okay, so if I press Shift Enter, it delivers an error. All parameters must be positive. Okay. Questions, please. So, example, please define a function that calculates the square root of all positive numbers in R3. Okay. If a negative number is given, if the square root of x squared plus y cubed plus z cubed of all positive numbers in R3. If a negative number is given, then deliver an error message. How do we do it? Our condition is that x, y, and z are all bigger than 0. So, does anybody want to do it with me? Hello? Let's pick one. Katerina, you want to do it with me? Yeah, let's try it. Great. So we want a function. So what do I need to write first? Def, okay. So this is Katerina function, okay. This is the name. Now what do I need to write? Yeah, and how do I write the parameters? Look at this example. The parentheses, okay. And what are the parameters of this function? X, Y, and Z. Very good. Then I get out, and what do I need to write now? Double point, don't forget. Okay, don't forget. Then enter. Okay, now what else? If. Good. What else? Are bigger than 0. Okay, so please pay attention to the syntaxes. Okay, x is bigger than 0, and y is bigger than 0, and bigger than 0. Okay, so I have used if, so I need to put a double point again. Press enter, and now what? Return. Very good. What? I need to return the function, the square root of the function. So the square root is, as we did before, numpy dot square root. Okay? So I need to write numpy dot square root of the function above. Okay? So x square plus y cube plus z cube. Okay? Good. And then now, what do I need to write? Else, double point, don't forget. Print error, right? All parameters must be positive. Correct? Good. Let's try Katerina's function. Parameters, I don't know, 12, 23, and 24. Shift enter. It delivers the number. Okay? Does it make sense? Okay. Thank you for participating. Now let's try. Yeah, thank you. Let's try to write now the EOQ model 2. okay, which is called the supplier model. So, anybody want to do it with me? Christian, you want to do it with me? You're in the car. Okay. Well, then it's difficult to follow. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. No problem. Burku, you want to do it with me? Hello? This is the result from yesterday. S and Q equals the Q star from the model 1 times square root of P plus H divided by P. Okay, so this is the result. Okay. Burku, you want to do it with me? Wir können es auf Deutsch machen. No? Okay, there are no more people, so only 4 people present. Then let's define the function. I will do it. We put def, we put the name, okay, we need the parameters. The parameters are going to be A, D, H, and P, okay? Because this is the backlog cost. P is the backlog cost, okay? So we use the same logic. If A is bigger than 0 and D is bigger than 0 and H is bigger than 0 and P is bigger than 0, then calculate the inventory after delivery. S means the Q star of the first model, so square root, we can copy from here, square root of 2AD divided by H times square root of P divided by P plus H, and Q equals same, the square root of the first model, or Q star of the first model, times square root of P plus H divided by P. Okay, then else print error, all parameters must be positive. Okay, so EOQ2, and then we give him some numbers, 10, 2400, 0.3, and 0.1. And it delivers a mistake because I have forgotten here to put the square root. You see, I made a mistake, and so it delivers an error. Now it should work. Oh no, wait, I need to tell him what to return. Return a list of S and Q. Okay? So it delivers a list of S and Q. The S is the inventory after delivery, and Q is the delivery. So the backlog, if I say give me another thing, backlog equals S minus Q, or Q minus S, better said, I can also get the backlog, which is 600. Okay? Does it make sense? All this is just the formula that we saw yesterday in detail. Tarina can follow. Christian is in the car. Anna, you want to do the EOQ3 with me? Very good, thank you. So we defined a function. Let's try it together. So get the notes from yesterday to calculate the EOQ model number 3. This is the production model. Okay. So what are your notes saying? What is Q in the model yesterday was what? It's on page number 4. Square root, yes. 2 times A times D, good. Divided by, yeah. Yeah. D divided by Q. Yeah, not divorce, something different. Good. So this is Q3, right? And now what is Y? So the cost of Q3. You have it on page number 5. Square root. Yes. Divided by K. Very good. So now let's try to define the function with this data. Okay, so what do I need to write? Three. What parameters do I need? A, D, H, K. Very good. Then what else? Yeah, so we define K is the production rate. Okay, so now what do I need? If parenthesis yes, yeah, and d bigger than 0 and h bigger than 0 and k bigger than 0, then double point. Good. So, and now what do we write? Yeah, so we need to write what we want to calculate. So Q is equal, just follow me, okay? This is important. NumPy point square root, okay? And then we put the values that we saw before, okay? We just wrote it, so we can copy it, okay? And then we also want the cost, which is NumPy square root of what we wrote before, okay? So we copy it. And then we say return what? We want a list of the values, not backlog. We don't want backlog. We want only Q and Y. But in order to get a list, what do I need to write now? No. Eckige Klammer. Okay? Eckige Klammer is for the list. So Q, comma, Y. Okay? So we are using the round parentheses for defining the parameters, and we're using the square parentheses to define the list. Okay? Wir verwenden eckige Klammer für die Liste und wir verwenden runde Klammer für die Parameter. Okay, so if then here and then else. Okay, what else? Print, yeah. Error, all parameters must be positive. Very good. So, and then EOQ 3. Let's see if it works, okay? And we say 10 is A, 2400 is D, H is 0.3, and K is 0.1. Yes. No, let me put 20. Okay, so it's giving me an error because a float object is not callable. Okay, I have a mistake because I am missing here now here I am missing a star. Okay, so I made a mistake typing, and the parameter is not existing for some reason. NaN, Y, square root. Yes, because D divided by K, D divided by K is bigger than 1, okay? And so 1 minus D divided by K is negative, and the square root of a negative doesn't exist. So I need to write here something bigger than 2400, and then it works. Okay? Make sense? Good. So you have any questions regarding this? Katerina and Burku, could you follow? Good. All right. Well then, please don't go. Stop.